You're just a deadbeat in a uniform. My stepfather said those words. Loud, clear, deliberately meant to hurt. Private dining room, upscale Italian restaurant, crystal chandelier, white tablecloths. I smelled truffle oil, garlic butter, expensive wine. Heard soft jazz cut short by his voice. Sharp, cold. 15 people watching, extended family, friends, colleagues, all celebrating. Not me, my brother-in-law, Commander James Mitchell, just promoted to captain, Navy, '06, big deal. I arrived late, jeans, blazer, straight from classified briefing. No time to change, everyone else. Formal, dresses, suits, occasion appropriate. I didn't fit, never fit. Richard, my stepfather, 62, expensive suit, saw me, his face soured like spoiled milk. Oh, you're here. My sister Vicky shifted uncomfortably, didn't defend. My mother looked down, silent, always silent. James stood up, awkward. Iris, glad you could. When's the last time you contributed anything to this family? Richard cut in, eyes on me, hard, judging. James is captain, 38 years old, and you? Still lieutenant commander, 8 years. No promotion, no family, no success. My hands hung loose, clenched tight, jaw locked. Don't react, trained not to react. But my chest burned, ears rang. Familiar feeling, shame mixed with rage. He continued, louder, for everyone to hear. Some people talk about their work. James shows results, and you? Just a deadbeat in a uniform. Deadbeat. That word, heavy, cutting deep, final, 15 faces, pity, shock, agreement. No one spoke up, no one defended. Not Vicky, not Mom, not even James. Just silence, and me, standing there, invisible, worthless. Except I wasn't. They didn't know what I did. Couldn't know. Classified at levels they'd never understand, but James would know. Soon. Because 3 days ago, an admiral told him, limited disclosure. Enough to understand. Enough to change everything. But before that moment, before my stepfather, obsessed with visible success, called me deadbeat in front of entire family, there's a story of 15-year-old girl standing at father's grave. Father who died saving people, Coast Guard hero, and the girl promised, I'll be like you, Dad. I'll save people too. 18 years, keeping that promise, saving lives they'd never know about. Until tonight, when my brother-in-law, honored Navy captain, knows exactly who I am and what deadbeat really looks like when she carries top-secret clearance and enemy blood on her hands. So let me take you back. Today my father died, to promise I never broke, to new family, people who don't understand that success isn't always loud. Sometimes success is silent and deadly. 30 years old when things started getting darker. Syria, or close enough I could feel desert sand sticking to skin. February that year. Cold surprisingly, 40 degrees at night, my breath-forming fog in windowless SCIF, secure compartmented information facility. Room with no natural light, just flickering fluorescent bulbs and 3 computer screens glowing ghostly green. I sat there 12 hours straight, headphones clamped tight enough to hurt, eyes burning like someone poured sand in them. Coffee and cup gone cold hours ago, but I still drank it because I needed alert more than I needed taste. Room had distinctive smell, stale coffee, cold sweat from t-shirt I'd worn since early morning, hot metal from equipment running nonstop, and something else I couldn't name but knew was tension, kind that smells like electricity and air right before thunder. Chief Petty Officer Martinez sat beside me. 20 years at NSA before transferring. Face had deep lines, but eyes sharp as knives. He said, Commander, got something. Channel 7, Arabic, heavy encryption. I switched audio feed. Male voice, urgent, fast, background noise, traffic maybe, city sounds. I listened without understanding every word, but tone was universal. This was plan. This was countdown. This was threat. Run it, I said. Martinez's fingers flew across keyboard. Decryption keys spinning. 30 seconds. 1 minute. Screen flashing code. Then text appeared. English translation. Rough but clear enough. Package arrives Thursday. Embassy access confirmed. Allahu Akbar. Thursday. Today was Tuesday. 48 hours. My chest tightened, but hands stayed steady. Training. Location? Martinez already scanning metadata before I finished asking. Damascus suburbs, narrowing coordinates, got it. Residential area. Numbers appeared. Latitude, longitude. Accurate to 50 meters. I flagged it. Sent to CO. Urgent priority. Red flag. Waiting. 5 minutes felt like 5 hours. Finally, text from Captain Reynolds. Torres, confidence level? I typed, 90%, sir. Chatter matches previous attack patterns. Recommend immediate action. Coordinating SEAL Team 6, stand by. 24 hours later, I sat in debrief room. SEAL Team had returned. 12 enemy killed. 3 captured alive. Intelligence recovered. Blueprints, explosive timelines, contact lists, embassy attack, prevented, Americans, safe. 0 friendly casualties. SEAL Commander Hayes, face scarred, quiet intensity of someone who'd seen too much, shook my hand. Firm, professional. He said, "Your intel saved my team, Commander. Saved American lives. I'm putting you in for commendation." "Just doing my job, sir." "Your job prevented mass casualty event. That's more than job. That's heroic." I didn't feel like hero. I felt like operator who got lucky on right channel, at right time, with right decryption. But citation was filed, Navy Commendation Medal, classified, no ceremony. No family notification, just line in service record no one would see, couldn't tell anyone. Ever. Mom called after, "Where are you? You're not answering." Deployed? How long? 6 months. Doing what? Can't discuss. Pause. Then Richard's voice in background, loud enough to hear. Convenient. Can't prove success if it's all secret. Mom didn't defend, just change subject. "Well, we're glad you're safe." I hung up and sat in an empty apartment, 1 bedroom, cheap, government salary, no luxury, with metal in drawer, hidden, classified, invisible like me. 2 years passed with darker missions and harder choices. Captain Voss called me into office, rare, usually email, and pushed folder across desk. Top secret, SCI, special compartmented information. NSA liaison, she said, network operations, national level threats, counterterrorism integration. I read, working with NSA, monitoring terrorist networks, network penetration, infrastructure attacks, stopping threats before they materialized, and also clear, this assignment delays your O5 board, minimum 2 years. You stay lieutenant commander until completion. I thought about Richard, about endless comparisons, about Vicky and her visible success. Then I thought about Syria, about embassy, about 12 enemies who wouldn't hurt anyone anymore, about lives saved no one knew about. If work's important, I'm in. Captain Voss nodded, and I saw respect in her eyes. It's more important than you know. Welcome to the deep end, Commander. Next 2 years were deepest I'd ever been. Chinese network infiltration of U.S. power grid, stopped. Russian intel network in D.C., dismantled. ISIS online recruitment cells, penetrated, neutralized, 4 terrorist attacks prevented, 3,000 lives saved, no one knew, no one could know. Just me and people with clearances higher than God. Meanwhile, James got promoted to captain. 06, 38 years old, public ceremony, hundreds attending, flags and speeches and recognition. Richard hosted celebration at fancy restaurant, private room, invitation from Vicky. Celebrating James's promotion, Saturday, 6 o'clock, formal attire. I replied, "We'll try, depends on work." Day of dinner, operations center in crisis mode. Chinese hackers targeting U.S. infrastructure, water systems, power grid, real-time attack happening right now. 14 hours straight, I coordinated with NSA, FBI, DHS, tracking source, building countermeasures, deploying defenses, until finally contained, attack neutralized, infrastructure safe. I checked time, 7:30 p.m. Dinner started 90 minutes ago. Damn, I rushed out with no time to change. Jeans, blazer, navy t-shirt underneath, drove 40 minutes through traffic and frustration, arriving 8 p.m. When I pushed private room door open, everyone formal in dresses and suits and champagne and laughter. Conversations stopped, heads turned. Richard at head of table, mid-toast, champagne glass raised, saw me, and his face changed from joy to disgust in instant. "Oh, you're here," I tried explaining. "Sorry I'm late. Work, work," he cut off, voice dripping contempt. "When's last time you contributed anything to this family?" Room went uncomfortable. Silverware stopped. Glasses paused. James stood awkwardly, but Richard louder, playing to audience. James is captain, youngest in class, 38 years old. And you? He pointed straight at me. Still lieutenant commander, 8 years, same rank, no progress, no success. I couldn't defend, couldn't say 6 hours ago I just saved their power grid. Couldn't explain classified work at levels they'd never understand. My hands gripped purse, my jaw clenched tight, and I tried breathing while he continued. Some people talk about work. James shows results, visible, measurable, real. He paused and looked straight at me with cold eyes. And you? You're just a deadbeat in a uniform. Those words hit my chest like bullets. My nails dug into palms. My jaw locked until teeth ached. But I didn't react because I was trained not to. 12 years military taught you swallow rage, lock it down, keep face blank even when you want to scream. Vicky touched Richard's arm, but he jerked away. That's the truth. 8 years, same rank, no family, no children, textbook definition of deadbeat. Mom stared at plate, silent, complicit. James opened mouth, then closed it. Uncomfortable, but didn't defend. No one defended me. 15 people just sat there, watching, judging, agreeing. I turned away, couldn't stay, walked a hallway away from them. Phone buzzed in pocket. Unknown number. I answered with voice still controlled. Commander Kane? Speaking. Admiral Patricia Donovan, Pentagon. Tomorrow 9 a.m., dress whites. Important. Yes, ma'am. What you did today, stopping that attack, it's not going unnoticed. She hung up and I stood in hallway, hands finally shaking because alone and safe to shake. They'd just called me deadbeat while I was literally saving their city, their infrastructure, their lives. And tomorrow maybe someone would finally see. Pentagon next morning. Dress whites pressed perfect, shoes mirror shine, hair regulation, SCIF deep in building with multiple clearance layers. Inside, Admiral Donovan 3-star, NSA director, DIA rep, 2 captains I didn't recognize. Commander Kane, sit. Admiral open folder, top secret, SCI, no foreign. Your work past 2 years, Operation Silent Shield, I'll be blunt. She paused to let room's silence sink in. 4 major terrorist attacks on U.S. soil prevented. 3 nation-state network intrusions detected and neutralized. 12 high-value targets captured due to your intelligence analysis. She paused again. Estimated American lives saved. 3,000. Conservative estimate. I couldn't speak because I didn't know, never saw full picture, just did individual missions and moved on. Defense Superior Service Medal, classified citation, ceremony today, cleared personnel only. She paused final time. And promotion, Commander, 05, effective immediately, congratulations. My brain stuttered, but I only managed. Ma'am, You earned it, Commander, every bit. NSA director said, Commander Kane, your country owes you debt that cannot be publicly acknowledged. But know this, your work matters. Ceremony 2 hours later, in secure room with 20 people, all cleared, all need to know, medal pinned, rank insignia changed, silver oak leaf replaced gold. Commander, 05. Applause brief, respectful, professional. No family, because couldn't invite. No photos for social media. No announcement. All classified. Only recognition from people who mattered, who understood. After ceremony, Admiral Donovan approached privately. Commander, I understand your brother-in-law is Captain James Mitchell. Good officer. Yes, ma'am. I signed his promotion papers. Excellent record. She paused. Does he know what you do? No, ma'am. No one knows. Do you want him to know? I was confused. Ma'am, it's classified. Captain Mitchell has top secret clearance. SCI access. I can authorize limited briefing. Sanitized, but enough for him to understand who you are, what you do, why your career looks different. My heart raced. Why, ma'am? Because you deserve to have someone know, someone in your family see your value. And frankly, Captain Mitchell should know he's serving alongside one of our best intelligence officers. I thought about it, then honest. It won't change anything with my stepfather. Maybe not, but it'll change something with someone that's worth something. Yes, ma'am, thank you. 1 week later, text from James. Iris, we need to talk. Private. Tonight if possible. Important. I knew what it meant. He'd been briefed. He knew now. I met him at coffee shop near base, corner table away from others. He saw me, stood up without smile, face serious, sat opposite, silent, processing. Finally, he spoke. I had meeting yesterday with Admiral Donovan and NSA rep. They told me things I can't repeat, things I can barely process. He looked at me, really. Iris, 3,000 lives, 4 attacks. I can't discuss numbers, even with you. He nodded, understanding, but continued. Jesus, Iris, I had that meeting and I realized Richard called you deadbeat. At my dinner, in front of everyone, and I said nothing. You didn't know. I should have trusted you, should have known there was more, should have defended you. He paused. I'm sorry, truly sorry. It's okay. No, it's not, his voice firm, convicted. And I'm going to fix it. Saturday, Richard's hosting brunch, family thing, you should come. I don't think, please, trust me, just this once. I looked at him and saw sincerity, respect, understanding. Okay, I'll be there. Good, because it's time Richard knew who his stepdaughter really is. I drove home with steady hands and clear head. They were about to know, not everything, never everything, but enough. Enough to see me, enough to respect me, enough to understand that deadbeat was never the right word. Warrior was. Let me tell you about that Saturday morning. The morning Richard got exposed in front of everyone. I didn't need to say anything. James spoke for me, and truth defended itself. I arrived on time, 10 a.m., Richard's house, backyard, long table, set under oak tree, bright sunlight through leaves, smell of coffee, pastries, fresh-cut grass. 8 people, Richard, Mom, Vicky, James, 2 couples, Richard's friends from country club. I wore jeans and white shirt, simple, clean. Commander insignia on collar, new, still stiff, but no one looked close enough to notice. Richard saw me, face tense, but guess here, had to be polite. Iris, you came. Not warm greeting, just acknowledgement. Good morning. I sat down. End of table. Away from Richard, James across from me. Brief nod. I nodded back. Small talk began. Weather, golf, vacation plans. I stayed quiet, drank coffee, observed, waited. Bob, one of guests, 60 years old, large build, loud voice, turned to me. So, Iris, heard you're still in, what is it, intelligence? Yes, naval intelligence, Richard jumped in. Quick. Yes, still Lieutenant Commander. Voice had something in it. Contempt. As usual, I corrected. Calm. Actually, Commander now, promoted last month. Richard blinked. Oh, convenient timing. I didn't answer, didn't need to. Just drank coffee and looked at James. He was watching Richard, jaw tight, waiting. Conversation continued 10 more minutes. Vicky talked about kids. Mom talked about garden. Richard told story about golf trip last week. Normal, polite, tension underneath surface like live wire. Then Bob asked again. Commander, right? That's good promotion. Richard, before I could answer. Well, we can't all have real careers like James. Some people just do what they can. That's when James stood up. Not rushed, not angry, just stood. Back straight, military bearing, determined. Richard, he said, voice steady as steel. I need to say something. Room went silent. Silverware stopped. Cups set down. Everyone looked. About Iris. About her work. I sat still, hands around coffee cup, warm under fingers. Watched James. Didn't look at Richard. Richard laughed nervously. Uncomfortable. James, you don't need to. I do. James cut in. Firm. No wavering. Last week I had meeting, Pentagon, with Admiral Patricia Donovan, 3 stars, Director of Naval Intelligence Office. He paused. Let that sink in. I also met reps from NSA, from Defense Intelligence Agency. They told me about Commander Kane's work. I heard how he used rank. Not Iris. Commander Kane. Formal. Respectful. Richard shifted in seat. James, this isn't... I can't give details, James continued, as if Richard hadn't spoken. Most of her work is classified at levels I don't even have access to, but I was authorized to say this. He looked around table, met each pair of eyes, finally stopped at Richard. Commander Kane works signals intelligence, counterterrorism operations, cyber operations. She works with NSA, with special operations units, with agencies I can't name. The work she does saves American lives. Bob leaned forward. Saves lives? How? James turned to him. She prevents terrorist attacks, stops network intrusions into critical infrastructure, provides intelligence leading to capture of high-value targets. I can't give numbers, but impact, national level. I watched Richard. His face had changed color, from doubt to confusion to something else. Fear, maybe, or realization. James wasn't done. You called her deadbeat because she was lieutenant commander for 8 years. Want to know why? No one answered. Room silent enough, I heard birds singing in tree next door. Because 2 years ago, she was offered mission. Mission important enough it delayed her promotion. She had to choose, promotion now, or serve country in critical work. She chose mission. She chose serving country over her own career. Vicky crying silently, hand over mouth, shoulders shaking. And last week, James continued, voice stronger, she was promoted to commander, awarded Defense Superior Service Medal, in ceremony classified to point where I, captain with top secret clearance, wasn't invited. He paused, looked at Richard. You called her deadbeat, in front of family, in front of friends, while she was saving lives you'll never know about, doing work you'll never understand, sacrificing recognition you value so much for mission more important than ego. James stood straight, stepped forward 1 step, came to attention, raised hand, salutes, full, formal, official, at brunch table, in front of family, publicly. Commander Kane, he said, voice clear. I'm sorry I didn't say this sooner. I'm sorry I didn't defend you when I should have. And I'm proud, truly proud, to serve in same Navy with you. I stood up, slowly, controlled. Returned salute, brief, precise, sat back down, said nothing, didn't need to. Room still silent, kind of silence thick and heavy enough you could feel it pressing on skin. Bob broke it. Wait, Commander, can you say anything about your work, if you can? I looked at him. I confirm I work counterterrorism. Details are classified. But James said terrorist attacks, Richard interrupted, voice loud, defensive. So we're just supposed to believe him, trust James's word. I turned to Richard, calm. You believe I'm commander? Insignia right here. I pointed to shoulder. You believe I served 8 years? Why not believe rest? Because it's convenient, Richard stood up, face flushed red. No proof, no photos, just unverifiable claims. James stepped forward. Richard, I was briefed by 3-star admiral, shown documents, citations, impact assessments. This isn't claims. This is truth. But you can't prove. I don't need to prove to you. James's voice ice cold. I was proven to by only people who matter. By United States Navy, by National Security Agency, by Department of Defense. Your opinion is irrelevant. Richard sat down, heavily, like legs wouldn't hold anymore. Bob looked at me. Defense Superior Service Medal. That's big. James nodded. One of highest peacetime awards possible, given for exceptional service with national impact. I saw Richard processing this, brain recalculating, 14 years of assumptions collapsing. Mom finally spoke, voice trembling. Iris, why didn't you tell us? I looked at her. I did. Every time you asked what I do, I said classified. You didn't believe. I thought classified was excuse. For 8 years, I said, voice still calm. You thought I lied for 8 years, she cried, hands shaking as she wiped tears. Vicky turned to me, face wet. I compared you to James, made you feel lesser. I didn't know. You didn't ask, I said. Not cruel, just truth. Richard stood up, slowly, walked around table, stopped in front of me. I didn't stand, just looked up. Can I be forgiven? He asked, voice hoarse. I looked at him. This man who spent 14 years making me feel small, who called me deadbeat in front of everyone while I was literally saving them. I don't know yet, I said. Ask me later. His face twitched, but he nodded. Fair. He extended hand, formal, respectful. Thank you for your service, and I'm sorry for not seeing. I shook his hand, brief, firm, acknowledged. Not forgiveness, not agreement, just acknowledgement. Brunch continued after that, though no one really ate much. Conversation stilted, careful, like everyone learning how to talk to me again. Bob asked about Coast Guard. I told stories I could. Rescues, storms, missions I was allowed to discuss. Mom asked about deployments, general questions. I answered what I could. Vicky apologized again. I made everything competition. I'm sorry. We can work on that, I said. James caught my eye, nodded. Pride, respect. After brunch, walking to car, Richard followed. Iris, wait moment. I turned back. I know I can't fix 14 years overnight, but I want to try, understand, become better. That's up to you. Will you give me chance? I'll think about it. That's all I ask. I drove home, hands steady, head clear. They knew now, not everything, never everything, but enough. Enough to see me, enough to respect me, enough to understand that deadbeat was never right word. Warrior always was. Today is Thanksgiving, 2 years after that brunch. Let me tell you what's different. I sit at same table, same house, same family, but everything changed. Not them, me. How I sit, how I breathe, how I occupy space without asking permission. Richard opens door when I arrive. Iris, welcome home, voice warm, no trace of contempt that once made every family gathering painful. Mom hugs me real. Vicky runs over, face lights up. You came? James stands, casual but respectful salute. Commander. Dinner begins. Sunlight through windows. Warm. Smell of turkey, stuffing, pumpkin pie. Laughter from kitchen. Natural. Real. Bob, same guest from 2 years ago, asks, Commander, heard your task force doing amazing work. Impressive. I smile. Thank you. I'm lucky to do work I love. Richard stands up, raises glass. Room goes quiet. I want to say something. He looks at me. Iris, I spent years not seeing you, not understanding you, making you feel small. I'm sorry isn't enough, but I'm proud. Proud of who you became, of your service, of your courage. Thank you for serving this country, and thank you for giving me a chance to learn how to see you right. He pauses. To Iris, Commander Kane, our daughter. To Iris, everyone says. Glasses clink. Warm. Real. I nod. Accept. Don't need it, but appreciate it. After dinner, I stand on patio with James. Stars overhead. Air cold but comfortable. You did it, he says. Earn their respect. No, I say. I did something better. I stopped needing it. He smiles. That's the difference, isn't it? That's all the difference. Richard steps out. Awkward, but trying. Iris, I know I said it, but I'm sorry. Really. I look at him. Not angry, not bitter, just peaceful. I know, and I'm working on it. Forgiveness takes time, but we're getting there. That's all I can ask. He leaves. James whistles low. You've grown, Commander. We all have. Alone, stars overhead, I think about Journey. About 14 years proving. About being called deadbeat while saving lives. About brunch when truth got spoken. About 2 years of slow, careful healing. And I realize what I spent years looking for. My value never depended on them seeing it. It was always there, in work, in service, in myself. I just needed time for me to see it. 14 years I fought for them to see me. 2 years I learned I didn't need them to. Now, I just need myself. And myself is enough. That's the lesson. That's the victory. That's the freedom. Next week I deploy, classified location. Important mission I can't discuss, but this time I don't go with doubt. I go knowing my worth, knowing I belong, knowing I'm enough. And that's how this story ends. Not with them finally seeing me, but with me finally seeing myself and realizing I was here all along, worthy, capable, enough, always. If you're listening to the story and feel something in your chest tighten, I understand. I've been there. Many are there. Maybe you do work no one sees. Maybe you're misjudged by family, by boss, by people who should know better. Maybe you're tired of proving your worth to people who never look. I want you to know this. Your value doesn't depend on their validation. It never did. You don't need them to see you to matter. You already matter. You always mattered. Leave comment below and tell me, who was last person to see your worth? Your story matters. Someone needs to hear it. If you know someone fighting to be seen, colleague, friend, family member, share this video. Not for metrics. Because they need to hear they're not alone. Subscribe if you want more stories about strength, about resilience, about finding your worth, even when world says you don't have it. Thank you for listening to my story. Now go out there, show the world. Not for them. For you. You're enough. You always were enough.